mighty dragon of Wales is stirring from ancient slumber. From the snow-capped mountains of Snowdonia, along the wind-swept valleys of the Rhondda, across Cardiff's great fields of glory, the land is awakening. The land of Fräulein, the land of Owain Glyndŵr, the land of Rob Brydon. From those old, dreaming men of Harlech to the wild women of the western shores, all the children of Gwalior are joining together as one voice to sing a song of welcome to the world. And that dragon, that mighty red dragon, shall rise once more, spread wide its wings, take flight, and roar!
Dear Gwalior, I know there are towns lovelier than ours, and fairer hills and loftier far, and groves more full of flowers, and boskier woods more blithe with spring, and bright with birds adorning, and sweeter bards than I to sing their praise this beauteous morning. By Cadar Idris tempest torn, or moil or wyddfa's glory, Carnedd Llywelyn beauty born, Plynlimmon old in story. By mountains where King Arthur dreams in Penmaen Mawr defiant, Llaregib hill, a molehill seems a pygmy to a giant. by sow their senny, dovey, dee, edu, edin, aled, all, taff and towie, broad and free, Clevenant with its waterfall, Caer when clear thy delights dow, Eli, Gwili, Ogur, Nedd, small is our river Dewi, Lord, a baby on a rushy bed. By Carreg, Kennin, king of time, our heron head is only a bit of stone with seaweed spread where gulls come to be lonely. A tiny dingle is Milkwood by Golden Grove neath Gronger, but let me choose, and oh, I should love all my life and longer to stroll among our trees and stray in Gusgog Lane on Donkey Down and hear the Dewi sing all day and never, never leave the town.
Well, that was annoying. I started early at, hopefully there's a few of you have found it. Oh yeah, a few of you have. Jolly good. Well done you. I started early at 10 to with my Welsh thing. It's St. David's Day. I thought I'd play it as an intro for those who arrived early. And YouTube just went completely to pot. It kept dropping the connection. It wouldn't reconnect. It wouldn't do audio. It wouldn't do sound. I rebooted the phone in case it was the phone, and that didn't work. So I don't know what happened. The live stream just somehow got corrupted, and I don't know how much, if anything, you saw. Honestly, haven't got a clue. And the only option was to, I had to actually delete it forever in order for YouTube to allow me to do anything. So that's why it was all a bit doolally tonight, but never mind, we're here now, and hopefully everybody will everybody will find their way along in due course. So we are, of course, here on St. David's Day, by far and away the most important day of the year. And it is, of course, also 45 minutes remaining of Jimmy Quinn's birthday. So once again, happy birthday to Jimmy. What happened, say Simone? Well, I've just told you that. You were watching it and it said video removed. Yes, that's what happened. You're late. No, I'm not. I was early. I started at 10 to. It's not my fault. Bloody YouTube arsed up. St. David's hymn practice. Why not? What a cock up, says Jimmy Quinn. Yeah, but YouTube's cock up, not mine. Good evening, Boaty. Very moving hymn. One of the hymns at my mum's funeral. Yeah, it is, absolutely. Right, Jimmy won't let me show that one, but yeah, that's a bit off. Simone's found an Oprah. Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh, Spotty Body's got to go back to work. Hello from Wales, says Sarah Parsons. And just to annoy you, and because you weren't here right at the beginning, I'm going to play the beginning bit again, because I particularly like it. Where are we? Don't panic. It's only 20 seconds.
The mighty dragon of Wales is stirring from ancient slumber. From the snow-capped mountains of Snowdonia, along the wind-swept valleys of the Rhondda, across Cardiff's great fields of glory, the land is awakening. The land of Fräulein, the land of Owain Glyndŵr, the land of Rob Brydon. From those old, dreaming men of Harlech to the wild women of the western shores, all the children of Gwalior are joining together as one voice to sing a song of welcome to the world, and that dragon, that mighty red dragon, shall rise once more, spread wide its wings, take flight, and roar!
Now, if you were Welsh, you would have been born knowing this song. So join in, all together now. I might just keep this playing all night. There you go, we needed some Welsh language in there. Now that is a song that we Welsh sing to and teach the children. And it's a charming little song, as children's songs tend to be. It's about a little saucepan or saucepan and a larger one, both of which boil over. The servant dies, little Johnny goes off to war and gets killed, then the dog dies, and then the saucepans boil over again. So it's a cheerful little number. Oh dear. Now then, where did I get to? You were never a choir boy, Roger Boaty. Oh, thank you, Jimmy Quinn. Bless you, and on your birthday as well. How can you not know it, Sarah Parsons? How can you not know it? You said hello from Wales. You obviously lived there, but you weren't brought up there. As I say, if you were Welsh, you were born knowing that song. Even if you're not from a Welsh-speaking family or place, you will know that song. Speaking of all things Wales, says Liz, shout out to Wrexham, spelt correctly, Glendower, also spelt correctly, University, where I'm doing an MBA. Don't know how to put a hat on a W for Glendower. You hold your finger on the W on your iPhone keypad, and just above the W, a little W with a hat will pop up. As anybody will know, if they've wished a Welsh person happy St. David's Day by saying Dydd, Gŵyl, Dewi, Hapus. Thank you very much. You were born in Wales, Sarah, and you don't know that. I don't believe you. What were your parents playing at? Seriously, Sospen Fach. You don't know it. You've never heard that before. God, I mean, what, are you a gog? Are you from North Wales? How could you not know that? I'm absolutely shocked and stunned. What about on a laptop? Not using mobile for text tonight. On a laptop, haven't got a clue. Haven't got a clue. Good God. I'm in the old Monmouthshire, South Wales, near to England, says Sarah. Well, Monmouth is lovely. I'm very fond of Monmouth. Monmouth is where, when I was going to or from Wales to England, Monmouth would be the swap over point if I was just being ferried. Monmouth is where my parents would take me and from where my grandparents would pick me up. And it's a beautiful town with a very excellent school, or at least it used to have a very excellent school. And although it's close to England, I mean, Monmouth still counts as Wales, so you should know that song. So Google it, get it learned, and then I'll give you 7 days, Sarah, and in 7 days' time you can sing it live on a live stream to prove that you are genuinely Welsh. The hilarity of a country smaller than the land I own, says Roger Boaty. Oh, what's up with Simone? Have I missed something? Oh, Monmouthshire Pride. I get confused with Welsh counties. Let's go back a few messages. Is Simone poorly? She's found an OPWAP, Michelle Perfectfa. But what's up, Simone? What's wrong with you? I can't see anything where it says that. Oh, I can. I have the dreaded lurgy. Feels like I swallowed razor blades. Oh, hard cheese. Okay. Hot water, a bit of honey in there, and a bit of whiskey in there. And just keep drinking that periodically until the whiskey bottle is empty. And you'll probably feel better. One of our cats came from Chepstow, says Liz, not too far from Monmouth. There's a U in there, Liz. There's a U in there. 76 degrees and leaves the U out of Monmouth. Mind you, you are English, so I suppose we can forgive you that. So what's going on, guys? How's your day been? Mine, and thank you for asking, has been excellent. I had a pie for lunch. I've kept right on top of the washing up, and tonight I did my run back from work. I did a timed run, and I did it in the Honourable Shison, and I didn't shit myself once. I shat myself 347 times. I've got no idea what the time is, because I'm not putting a timer on it. I don't know what the times are now until I run the video and actually superimpose the timer on it. Obviously the video is all in real time, and not edited in any way, shape or form. But I've got a feeling, my loves, that it's a pretty good time. Same ship, different day and all that, says Matt. Sarah Parsons has worked today, taken the dog for a walk and painted a pebble. Oh, right, jolly good. I also tried to put some shelves up tonight, not here, at work. I don't know what it is. The people that I work with, they're all multi-millionaires, but they're all obsessed with buying cheap things. They love buying cheap things. And even when it's for the business, and I tell them, you know, don't piss about, buy the proper stuff. You don't buy cheap things at home, you buy the most expensive things you can find. You go into the most expensive shop and say, have you got anything larger or more expensive? But at work, they buy, oh God almighty, it drives me absolutely mad. And they've bought this shelving from God knows who said that it was very good and very easy to put together. Fucking hell, fire. I mean, you know, it's supposed to be commercial shelving. If you put a tin of beans on one of the shelves, the shelf would bloody collapse. Dear, dear, dear. Right then, what do we talk about tonight, my loves? I haven't got anything particular in mind, so I will throw it over to you. There are 17 of you out there. I mean, we need to talk about Jimmy and his birthday, of course. But other than that, I will leave it entirely up to you. You chat away, suggest a subject, ask a question, suggest a debating matter, whatever you want to do, and I will just roll with it because it'll save me thinking of anything. And as I say, I don't have anything in particular in mind. Although I'm looking at olive oil. And there was another interesting thing on Radio 4. Oh, hang on. No, I won't tell you about that. You got all upset the last time I talked about Radio 4, didn't you? And whether data was a singular or a plural. Oh, hang on. Tell me oh, God almighty. Roger Boaty's complaining because it's only £1,000 a bottle and it's utter crap. That's something we could talk about. Roger Boaty and Roger Bottingham Manor or Mansions or whatever the hell it's called. Who actually thinks that? I mean, does anybody know who Roger Boaty is? He offered to tell me who he was, or she. It could be a she. And I said, no, don't tell us. It makes it more fun if we don't know. I reckon, if I had to guess, I reckon that Roger Boaty is Lisa Postlethwaite. Because, have you ever seen them in the same room? I know I haven't. Popeye might get jealous if you're looking at olive oil. Simone says, Boaty, how much was the insurance for Stigbert von Thundercock? Good question, Simone. I've only just insured him, so I really should know. We should talk about car insurance. I had 2 car insurance renewals. I must have bought a load of cars this time last year. So I've had a load of insurance renewals come through. And I'm moving all of my policies away from Lancaster because they're just a really, really bad company. Now, Stigbert, bear with me one moment. Oh, I can't be asked to go all the way upstairs and find it. Stigbert. Okay, from memory, I think that Stigbert's insurance this time, it's only a couple of weeks ago, it was around the 260 quid mark. something like that. Oh right, I got a quote today for an MGZT for 500 quid. Okay, where was that quote from, Simone? It really depends on the company that you go with. Now, you're going to struggle to get a proper classic policy on a ZT. Haggerty won't do them on a full classic policy. I don't think Footman James do. Lancaster will tell you that they do, but they're lying bastards, and it won't be a bloody classic policy at all. It'll be some dodgy, half-assed policy with some wanky company. Okay, go compare. Try all of the... At the moment, I'm getting all of my best prices from confused.com. And actually, yeah, Bad Books is saying, do you get classic insurance for your Rovers? Right, let's talk about insurance. That's a good subject. All of my cars were insured with Lancaster. Haggerty approached me and asked about giving me fleet insurance, but the problem I'm finding with classic insurance is they don't want to touch you unless your car is secured at night in a garage, in a barn, in a yard, in some sort of private thing. If your car's parked on the road, it can become problematical. So what I'm finding at the moment is I did have classic policies on all of them through Lancaster. I don't want to deal with Lancaster anymore. They're just a nightmare, and I don't in any way see them as a serious classic car company. Haggerty would be my company of choice, but they're not so keen on the modern classics. So, for example, the MGF is insured with Haggerty. Or is it insured with Footman James? Oh, God, I can't remember now. No, it's Haggerty. It is Haggerty. Isn't it? Yeah. But they won't insure any of the others on a classic policy, only on a modern policy, and that's a lot more expensive. But I found that going on confused.com is, for whatever reason, I've used Go Compared in the past, but confused.com is at the moment throwing up massively cheaper prices than anywhere else. So I don't know why, but that's my first port of call at the moment. So what the last renewal I had from Lancaster, they wanted about 400 quid, and I went on to confused.com and it was 220, and I got the £20 Halford voucher so I could buy some nice Autoglim stuff. So it seems to be shopping about, really. I mean, if you've got your car parked securely off-road, then you should be able to find a proper classic policy for it, and it should be dead cheap. It's worth going through the owners' clubs or the owners' forums. A lot of insurance companies will have specialist policies for those. Liz is saying the same. Try MGCC Cherished Insurance. They're excellent. Confused and Go Compare and Admiral are Welsh, says John Moretti. And Simone has her 75 and Cortina with Lancaster. You have my sympathy, Simone. I mean, do you get the same as I did? You know, I had 7 policies with Lancaster, and every time I wanted to phone them up and sort something out, I'm on hold for a bloody hour, and then I'm talking to some witless lunatic. I mean, you know, we live in the 24th century. I like to go online and just sort things out, and it's done and dusted. I know I'm a dinosaur with my head in the past, but I don't like being stuck with a bloody phone to my ear for an hour. When you can't do anything else, it's mad. So, you know, I would actually pay more to just go online and be able to sort it out, and the job's done in, you know, 4 or 5 minutes flat. but that's actually turning out to be cheaper at the moment. Now, I've got two policies that literally came through today for renewal, and they both renew. They both renew on the 15th. This policy here, what car is it for? God, they don't make anything easy. Let's have a look. All right, this is for Miss Henrietta Pye with Lancaster. Amazingly, the price has stayed the same. Oh no, it hasn't. It was $279.50 last year. They want $297.90 this year. So, you know, that's an increase despite the fact that you've got another year's no claims, blah, blah, blah. Now, obviously I don't own Miss Henrietta Pye anymore, so that doesn't matter. That's going in the bin. This one is for Shison. Last year's premium was 300 quid, which I now know is too much. And they want £318.60 to renew it. Well, they can fuck right off. I can't even be asked going through the rigmarole of ringing them up and staying on hold for 16 hours just to renew the sodding thing. But I guarantee you that I will get it cheaper on one of the comparison sites. And as I say, Confused.com proving to be the cheapest at the moment, although out of loyalty I tend to go, well, I've always tended in the past to go for Go Compare, not because they're the best company or anything, but obviously my mate Wynn does the advertising for them, so you know, they put food on his table, so I feel an odd sort of loyalty. Go Compare. Oh, here's an interesting one from GPS OMG. Good evening, you lanky streak of piss. How the devil are you? Who would you podger in order? And pick one you would marry. Okay, this is interesting. And he's given me Samantha Fox, Dolly Parton, Annalise Morissette, I assume that should be Alanis, Beyonce, Adele. All right, let's go through. Well, this is going to be quite easy, GPS. Right. Well, Samantha Fox, I wouldn't podger at all because she's a lesbian and she wouldn't like it. And even if she wasn't a lesbian, there's a problem with the boobs. Dolly Parton, no. Beyonce. Is she the lady with the big bottom? No. I mean, I wouldn't. If she's what? Adele. No. Right. So this is easy. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. There's 6 of them. 5 of them I would refuse and take the 4 faults, and I would do Alanis Morissette 6 times, and I'd marry her. So that was easy, wasn't it? Okay, they're digging into Roger Boaty. Oh, there's a question. Roger Boaty, are you going to Pride of Longridge? Ah. Interesting. Stephen S. Paul is with us. Hello. Very unusually, I can't think of anything to talk about tonight. My mind is a complete blank. So you're going to have to fill in the gaps, guys. Do a corpse swap or something. My mind today has just been full of Welsh things. and I've had this overriding sense of heroes, and I feel the need to get home, even if it's just for a day. I really, really do. I know it's St. David's Day and all of that, so that's part of it, but it's been a long time, and you know what they say, there's no place like home. And when you happen to live in or come from Wales, which is of course the most beautiful country in the world, then that becomes even more so. How old is Roger Boaty? Oh, there's a question. I would guess that Roger Boaty is 50. I would guess at 50. Assuming we're talking about Mr. George Roger Boaty, the Roger Boaty, rather than Mr. George Roger Boaty, the caravan. Mr. George Roger Boaty, the caravan is 84, 94, 2004, 2009. Blimey, he's going to be 40 next year, is Roger Boaty caravan. How goes the search for the elusive city rover? Well, there are city rovers about. I've been sent links to a couple. What's not going well is the search for the funding to buy the city rover. And it's all a question of time. Now, my idea is to just send an impassioned video plea with some preliminary and follow-up emails to Autoglim and to get them to fund the whole shebang. But I just don't seem to have the time to get round to anything these days. Every minute seems to be taken up. And there's a load of stuff that I'd love to do, but other things keep getting in the way, not least work and earning money and worrying about money. I'm jealous of Mustard. Mustard can potter around all day, polishing cars, cleaning cars, making films. He's just there amongst it all the time, day in, day out. And I would love that. I did have a little message from Mr. B&B, who said that if I can find a barn or something similar, he would be interested in going halves and having half of the storage for his ever expanding fleet. I'd love that. I'd love to find somewhere a bit like Mustard's that I could just, but then I'd have to give, there we are. Are you a fan of Jesus sandals? You look that type of person. You bastard. No, I'm not. No, I'm not a sandal. Do I really look like a bloody sandals person? No, absolutely not. Dear Lord. 63. Roger Boaty is 63. And Roger Boaty is now buggering off. So, well. Here's a question for you, Roger Boaty. Can you make it all through the night with having to make a visit to the potty? That'll give us a clue as to your age. And I'll throw that question out to the rest of you. Do you have an uninterrupted night's sleep? What sort of a state is your bladder in? Now, I don't want to show off, but I can make it through the night. I've still got a watertight bladder. I can fill myself with wine, go to sleep, and I can make it through. Well, I can make it through until about 8 o'clock anyway. How much are you prepared to spend on a city rover, say Simone? I would be prepared to spend as much as whoever ends up funding it gives me, is the honest answer to that. That I have no set budget. It will be whatever money I can raise to buy it. That's how much I would be prepared to spend. And if it's somebody else's money, then as far as I'm concerned, there would be no limit. Liz sleeps like the dead, no issues at all. Me too, Liz. I knew that was coming, Roger Boaty. Rover Joe is with us. Hello. GPS is throwing a penny into the City Rover spot, in a pot rather. No, the idea is to get to do that, to go down a corporate sponsorship route for the City Rover, and it would become that car. That's the idea, and I'm pretty sure it would work. I'm pretty sure that I could persuade a relatively large company, and Autoglym would be my first choice. I'm sure that I could persuade them to fund it. It's just having the bloody time to do it. Yeah, time is the enemy at the moment. It's not that long ago I felt like I had lots of time, and now I just don't have enough of it. If you want a shitty Rover, make me an offer for the Streetwise. Yours is too nice, Matt. It's when you don't wake up for a pee, that's when you need to worry. Well, that's true, isn't it? That's true. Maybe we should talk about age and the things that happen to you when you get old that you laughed at when you were a kid and are horrified by when it actually happens to you. What's really shaken you about getting older? Oh, bless you. Thank you, Simone. Oh, that's really kind of you. And I will do that. Yeah, I'll open a separate doings for the old City Rover. Thank you, Simone. Bless your heart. Yeah, what's really rattled you about getting older? And I suspect it'll be different things for the chaps and for the ladies. Oh God, who's actually going to admit to the things that are going wrong with them? I mean, I've told you all that oh, here we go. Ah, yes, GPS. Yes. The scrotum sack sagging, never saw that one coming. I did see that one coming because my grandfather had a habit of removing his trousers in the front room for whatever reason. Maybe because it was warm in there, because that's where we had a Ray-Ban in the front room. We had little Ray-Ban in the front room and the big old Ray-Ban in the kitchen. And the rest of the cottage, you just froze your arse off and had 64,000 blankets on your bed. But he was a man with a particularly pendulous scrotum, and I figured out that that must be something that comes with age. Now, I'm kind of okay in that department. I don't think that my scrotum is noticeably more pendulous than it was when I was a youth. Or am I just living in denial? Now, admittedly, in the Honourable H.J. Rover, I do have a continued issue with compromising a plum whilst climbing in and climbing out. And I have wondered if that's due to my scrotum having become increasingly pendulous. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not horrendously pendulous. Let's put it that way. I don't know, what sort of age does the scrotum become particularly pendulous? Is that something I've got to look forward to? It's the grey pubic hair that I'm panicking about. But while I was panicking about things like grey pubic hairs that, aren't really the end of the world, then all other stuff starts creeping in. Things drop off, things fall out, your gums recede, you get lumps and bumps in places. You open your mouth when your fork is only halfway there, instead of doing a bit of last minute breaking. You sort of It's awful. You get your fork with your food and you find yourself like an old person. And you think, old person stuff is scary. Now, I saw something on Facebook today or yesterday. Who was it? Famous actor. And he said that every day he refuses to let the old person in. And I guess we have to try and do that in spirit, if not in body. But yeah, GPS, I do sympathise. Jimmy Quinn goes to bed between... What? Jimmy Quinn goes to bed between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. Bloody hell. What do you do between midnight and 4 a.m? Get up between 11 to 12:30 and I don't get up for a wee. Well, that's a civilised time to get up, but oh, bloody hell, do you? Rover Joe has sciatica at 22. Oh dear. Underscore was born with the body of a pensioner. Stephen S. Paul has been clinically dead twice before, so doesn't fear death. All right. Jimmy Quinn is full of arthritis, spine and knee. Simone has arthritis too. Well, it's just cheering, isn't it? GPS, grey hair, nostril hair, ear hair, eyebrows getting longer. Gums receding as you brushing too hard. They just recede. It happens. Grey hair, yeah, I'm not bothered about the grey hair. I don't mind looking like a badger. Nostril hair's a bugger. Ear hair is a pig. I mean, what the bloody hell is that for? And I'm terrified of getting the sprouty ear hair. Now, years ago, before I really need it, my wife bought me one of those electric trimmery sets, and it had an attachment for doing your nostril hair and your ear hair. Well, I wish I had that now. Now, I don't think my ears are overly hairy, but I do know that there are hairs in there because I occasionally... Look, hang on. Yeah, there's one. Got the bastard. Matt has got osteopenia. Apparently it means I'll have overly fragile bones when I get old. Amazing they can diagnose these things but can't prevent it. Oh, yeah. GPS goes to bed between 3 and 4 and can't sleep at this time of year. Well, that's an interesting one. What time do we all go to bed and what time do we get up? I mean, I thought I was a night owl, but some of you guys are beating me. Our wedding night, says Bad Books. We climbed posh hotel stairs. Oh dear, hang on. Let me just start that again. Our wedding night, says Bad Books. We climbed posh hotel stairs to see my dad crossing the landing in boxers and slippers with his scrotum dangling about 8 inches and proudly wearing his ileostomy bag. He was 66. Oh, bless him. I guess you get to a point where you just don't give a shit, do you? I think I'm approaching that point, actually, where you just think, okay, well, sod it. Yeah, I've fallen apart. From now until I'm dead, I'm just not going to worry about it. I'm not going to give a shit. Can we change from Boaty world to arthritis world? Yeah. Maybe we were destined to become the follow-on from the Togs, the follow-on from Terry's old geezers and gals. Bad Book says grey hair starting, no harm in that. Nostril hair and hairy eyebrows, but no ear hair yet. I hadn't thought about the eyebrows. What's going on with my eyebrows? Well, I don't appear to have one there. I don't think my eyebrows are overly hairy. Simone is up between 6 and 7 a.m. every day. God, how awful. I hate early mornings. I absolutely hate early mornings. Unless I'm going to catch a flight, and then I love them. Otherwise, I hate them. I'd do anything to avoid them. GPS gets up between 10 and 12. Very civilised. And in summertime goes to bed at 2 a.m. and wakes up for 8 or 10. Boaty's ward. I like that. Boaty's ward. Only when I laugh. Think I'll see if I can watch some of that later. Oh, okay. Only when I laugh. All right. Name a character or an actor from Only When I Laugh. Well, I'll do the obvious one. James Bolam. But I can't remember the name of the character. Can a black or brown marker pen be used to colour in grey hairs? Asking for a friend. Oh, I don't know. I'm not worried about... Do you guys worry about grey hair? Maybe if you're a... Oh, that's one of these Battle of the Sexes things, isn't it? That in a gentleman, grey hair is considered distinguished. And in a lady, it's considered, well, you're an old lady, which is unfair. Yeah. Oh, yes, me. I've got this. Toenails are getting thicker, especially my big toenail, but don't have a fungal infection. Yes. Yeah. Jesus Christ. You need a bloody hedge trimmer to get through the bloody things. God above. Mustard does his at work. It's not, I don't recommend it as a tourist attraction. It's not a bloody sight you want to see. I think the trick with toenails is you've got to attack them when you're either in the bath or have had a bath. So they get a bit softer. And don't let them run away. You've got to keep on top of them. But my regular nail clippers, which have been good as gold over the years, never had a problem with them. They're not coping with my big toenail very well. They won't take a nice crescent out of it. You have to kind of sort of do a cut down the middle and then cut around it. Now, I know it's an awful thing. I suppose it's an awful thing. But for the first 40 years of my life, I never ever cut my toenails. And they were never too long. And I think what happened is that I kind of picked at my toenails in bed. Oh, there's a subject. Apart from toenails, fingernails. Do any of you guys still bite your nails? And did you used to bite your nails? And how did you stop yourself doing it? And what sort of age were you? And just because that's brought up another memory, have you ever had a partner who wet the bed? Even when I'm drunk, I've never ever wet the bed. Well, not since I was like, you know, in a nappy. But I did have a partner. I won't tell you her name, but I did have a partner who went through a phase of bedwetting. That was that was interesting. I mean, looking back, of course, it must have been hideously embarrassing for her. And I'm sure that I dealt with it like an absolute arsehole. Because, let's face it, all young men are absolute arseholes. I expect I made jokes about sleeping in the shallow end that night. Grey hair I can cope with, says Matt. It's the grey skin that makes me look dead. God almighty. That's another thing that happens with your skin, isn't it? I was looking at my leg the other day, and I had an old person's leg. When your skin is all, it's got those white crisscrosses all over it because it's dry. And the other day, I haven't done it since, I've been meaning to. The other day, I broke out some moisturising cream that I was given for Christmas. I've got tubs of the fucking stuff. I used to get given it for Christmas by the stepkids. And I actually broke some out and did my hands because I thought, well, yeah, my skin's getting all old and dry and horrible. Dear God. I'm 58, says Stephen S. Paul, and my hairs are just turning grey, which is interesting. Still sexy, though. I bet. I heard as a general rule, a man inherits his mother's father's hair, or lack thereof. Well, that's interesting, Bad Books. Well, we haven't got a clue who my mother's father was, other than the fact that we know that he was a rapist. So I've got no idea what I'm in for there. Touch wood, no real problems with the hair. It looks as if I've got a receding hairline, but it's always been that way. There's always been a bit of a widow's peak. So yeah, apart from the bit of grey plumage, my hair is one thing that isn't absolutely terrifying me in the morning when I look in the mirror. We've got one nail biter. We've got two non-nail biters. We've got one who bites their nails when they get too long and they get trimmed with their teeth. My nails just split and peel off. No need to bite them. What? Peel off? Like your actual nails or falsies? Oh, nails peeling off. Dry skin on the back of your feet. I notice also because we don't have a bath anymore, only a shower. So I need to exfoliate sometimes. I can't even remember what exfoliate means. Now, I don't want to show off, my loves. But being St. David's Day, I went mad and treated myself. Large vine tomatoes. They actually had some in stock. Didn't have any of the normal ones. And these weren't too bad. £1.25 for nice tomatoes. So that's good, isn't it? This tooth is still hanging in there. God only knows how. The white curved part at the top of the nail peels off, not the entire nail. Isn't that down to some sort of vitamin deficiency? The best thing you can do with your nails, actually, there's nothing worse than overgrown cuticles. Well, I mean, there are lots of things worse than overgrown cuticles, but you should, when you've had a bath and they're soft and pliable, you should gently push your cuticles back so that there is another white crescent at the rear of your nail. In the last few years, after a shower, my legs go so dry it itches like hell. Even skin cream. Well, we're all fucked, aren't we, basically? A hidden message from Jimmy Quinn. Oh, and Jimmy, it is no longer your birthday. So let's just, the birthday's over. Let's all raise a glass and once again toast Jimmy's very good health. And we'll do it all over again next year, Jimmy. Hope you had a great day, mate. Hope you enjoyed your Chinese. And thank you for sharing this time with us. One of my friends years ago was drunk and he thought, oh, we've all done that. We've all done this. One of my friends, and you know, sometimes when it's something we did, we pretend it was one of our friends, don't we, Jimmy? One of my friends years ago was drunk and he thought his wife's wardrobe was a toilet. He shit in a hat box and went back to bed. True story. I don't doubt it's a true story. We've all got a story like that. The kind of the sleep wee, and it normally happens. It normally happens when you're in a bit of when you're in a strange place, which is awkward because it's even more embarrassing. You know, you're staying over at somebody's house and you're doing the sleep wee, and you get used to doing the sleep wee, don't you? And you know where you are and you do it on autopilot so you don't need to wake up. But when you're in a strange place and you don't wake up, terrible things can happen. A friend of mine, we all crashed at a guy's house. He was like a friend of a friend. He wasn't our friend. And we'd gone to some do or other, and we all crashed at his place. And we were all young, and you know, you just crash on the living room floor or whatever. And one of my mates woke up in the middle of the night, or didn't wake up. And before I could stop him, I'm watching half asleep. He kind of fell over me when he got up, and that woke me up. And I'm watching him, and he's stumbling across the room. And this guy has got a proper old school hi-fi separate stack system. You know, really expensive one, pride and joy sort of thing. And my mate, I won't tell you which mate it was, I won't tell you his name. He lifted up the plastic lid to the gramophone part, the turntable part, as if it was a toilet lid, and just let fly. And I couldn't stop him. And then when he finished, put the lid down, tucked himself away into his little Superman pants, and went back to sleep. And I didn't say anything. We got, going back to, can I tell that story? Oh, no, I probably shouldn't. Vine tomatoes, says GPS. Cut them in half, bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, put in the oven, and make a nice breakfast with some sausages, bacon and eggs, hash browns and brown sauce. Well, GPS, I'm going to do something very, 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 very similar to that, except it's not going to be for breakfast, it's going to be for lunch. And lunch tomorrow, I don't know why, end of the month, payday. Do you guys have any money at payday? Do you actually have any money? I got paid today, first of the month, and some of it got swallowed up because I was already in overdraft. First of the month, all of my car taxes go out. My AA membership goes out. My Vodafone mobile, my mobile contracts go out, and I pay my rent, right? I'm skint again. I literally haven't got any money. I've got minus money. I was paid today, and tonight, as I sit and moan at you, I'm into my overdraft again. It's fucking heartbreaking. Really is. Do any of you know? But anyway, because it's payday, I treated myself, even though I clearly can't afford to do it. So, I'm going to be doing what you suggested with the tomatoes. I will be cutting them in half. I will be drizzling them in olive oil that I've ingested with some fresh garlic and chilies. I'll be seasoning them, and I will be putting them in the oven. And I will be accompanying them with some of these, which will be getting the same treatment, except they will be steamed first. These were on offer. Vivaldi salad potatoes. Very nice. So they'll be going in the oven too. And they will be accompanied by the cheapest piece of steak that I could find. And the cheapest steak has gone up. This was £3.18 the last time I bought one, a week or two ago. Gone up to £3.39. Robbery with violence. And I will, of course, be deploying the horseradish mustard. So that's going to be a treat. I can't afford it, but I can justify it. So, and yeah, that came out of my overdraft. I got paid today, and I'm using my overdraft. Oh! Oh dear, excuse me. My friend pissed on his flatmate's bedside table whilst naked. I pissed on my business partner. Well, I almost did. Mel, my business partner, we first met on a blind-ish date in the very early days of internet dating. It kind of didn't work out, but we became best friends, and then we became business partners. And Mel was a very sensible, incredibly clever woman with quite a successful career. But she was also a musician, instrumentalist and vocalist. And so, yeah, we ended up in business together, and we sort of we went through a period where, initially, having been on a couple of dates, then obviously we slept together, as you do, and that wasn't happening. But then we went through a long period where we weren't dating, we weren't having sex, so there was no romantic element. But we still slept together, as in the same bed, purely because, when we were working, only at that time I was in the 1-bedroom place in Cook Hill, and so yeah, we used to sleep together, just one of those things, bit like Morecambe and Wise, that sort of arrangement. No nonsense. I mean, there was some nonsense in those days, but it didn't happen at home. It always happened it became a bit of a tradition that on the way back from gigs, we would, I shouldn't be talking about this, should I? But yeah, on the way back from gigs, if it was a good gig, she'd give me a blowjob while I was driving the van home, and she was very good at it. So that was always pleasant. And then, if I was dating somebody else, then we didn't sleep together. She made a bed in the living room, took the cushions off the settees, and just made herself a bed. And that would often happen if my girlfriend was there as well, whichever girlfriend it was at the time. Mel would often stay the night as well, and we'd be in bed, and she'd be in the living room. But one night when it was just me and her, but I was obviously seeing somebody because she was sleeping in the living room. One time I got up in the middle of the night, stark naked. We'd probably been well and truly on the sauce, and it would have been after a show, no doubt. And she managed to wake me up just as I was standing over her about to let fly. But yeah, like I said, everybody's got one of those stories. I pee at my bedroom door when I was drunk. Next day I said it was a dog. Very sensible. Back in the 90s, I was at a party. When everyone crashed out, one guy who was blind drunk peed in the host's original PlayStation that was brand new at the time. Incoming ping, sorry, yeah. AA account, you give all your money to Alcoholics Anonymous and you can't afford to drink. I am a member of not that AA, no, I'm a member of the Automobile Association. And I need to do that thing, it's too expensive. I need to cancel my membership and start again so I get it cheaper. Oh, I haven't looked, Matt. I haven't looked, but I'll have a look when I'm done this. Yeah, I know, Black Lines, I know. You can't complain about being skint when running 900 cars. Yeah, I have spoken about this before. I do recognise the hypocrisy of talking about being skint when I've frozen my wine. Have I got a wine turd? Oh, no. I can just about get away with that. Yeah, I do recognise that it's very silly to complain about being skint when I'm running 900 cars. But in my defence, there are many other things that I don't do. I don't eat out. I don't buy clothes. I don't buy makeup. I don't buy shoes. I don't go on holiday. I don't go to the pub. I don't go to clubs. I don't spend money on music. I don't have a television. I don't have a Netflix subscription or anything of that nature. You know, I live like a poverty-stricken hermit in every other respect. So I do make the sacrifices in order to run the cars. It's not as if I live a bloody lavish lifestyle. I justify it to myself that if I've bought the cars wisely and I look after them and I've bought the right car at the right time so that the values increase, then it should be kind of a free hobby because they should act as kind of an investment. Now, I don't know if that's a genuine justifiable thing or not, but I think it would be fair to say that all of my cars are worth more than I paid for them, aren't they? What do you think? I think they are. I mean, I know the values are all over the place at the moment, but you know, look at Stigbutt. Everybody's saying that a really good sorted, belts done ZT 190 with a relatively low mileage and good history in good order should be worth 2.5 to 3 grand. But that's what they're saying. I don't know if they really are, but there are certainly people asking that for them. And you know, Stigbutt is a good one. Ask Mustard. Stigbutt's a bloody good car. So if Stigbutt is worth 2.5 to 3 grand, then I didn't pay that much for him. So you could argue that it's kind of justifiable. You should shop in Ilkeston. Everything is on sale for a 5-finger discount. That sounds a bit dodgy. Ask for a pay rise, says Jimmy Quinn. Well, minimum wage is increasing, isn't it? At the beginning of the fiscal year, April. So there might be, who knows, there might be a pay rise. I can't. If I asked for it, I wouldn't need to ask for a pay rise. That's the weird thing. I wouldn't need to ask for a pay rise. I just need to pay myself more. But I'm not going to. Vivaldi salad potatoes, that's your problem. We have Maris Piper. Yeah, but they're big potatoes. Do you not have small potatoes for different things? I mean, I had a Maris Piper today for my lunch. I had pie and mash. I'm supposed to be baking pie, says Matt. So far I've boiled potatoes. That's a start. I like olive oil infused with a rosemary and garlic, served on focaccia. Is that a hard C? Double C, isn't it? It's a hard C. Served on focaccia bread. So do I. Simone's off to sleep and is feeling like crap. Hope you feel better. Did she smoke a pipe in bed? No, says Bad Books. Oh, that's a Morecambe and Wise reference, isn't it? No, we used to have a right laugh in bed, actually. Some of the, not like that, but, you know, like a best mates kind of thing. We used to have a right laugh in bed. It was a hoot. I also cooked a mushroom and broccoli, rosemary and Stilton soup today. Very nice, says GPS. Sounds it. We're all saying goodnight to Simone. My friend copped off with a girl years ago in a nightclub and she kissed him and puked up in his mouth. Don't freeze the wine too late. You do eat out every Monday. Oh, that's a cheap old takeaway though, isn't it? I mean, it's not like going to a restaurant and eating out. I mean, what I have on a Monday is £4.80. So does that count as eating out? I suppose it does. You don't have sex, says Jimmy Quinn. I don't know what gives you that idea, Jimmy. I might be old and knackered, but yeah, I haven't given that up yet, and no intentions of doing so. I intend to cling on to that bit of life for as long as possible. Only if they've got full tanks. I'm working on that, Matt. Stephen S. Paul says, I've got a couple of hundred cars in 2 states, and I still have play dollars, bucks. I've never bought anything brand new though. I've never restored a vehicle from the ground up. I'm not that ambitious. Not London pie and mash. No, Jimmy, I had steak pie with buttery mash and the last of the fresh green beans, and it was absolutely delicious. The Ken George is here. Everyone assumes single means no sex, says Matt. In reality, it means no stress. Well, there's some truth in that. There is some truth in that. Well, there's some truth in both parts. It's definitely less stressful being single, and being single very definitely doesn't mean no sex. Because guess what? There are other people out there who are also single, whether through choice or circumstance, and they like to have sex as well. So there's no law against 2 single people getting together and knocking the spots off each other. I live next door to a potato farm that supplies Birmingham chippies, and the farmer gives us free potatoes. You lucky sod, bad books. Although, to be fair, for a few years now, I've been growing my own potatoes in a very small way, and I should do it in a larger way because it's not difficult, is it? What do you mean I'm not eligible for that sort of action? Why am I not eligible for that sort of action? Because I'm over 70. No. It doesn't work like that. No, you can still play. Will Smith said it best in Bad Boys. You're married. You've only got one woman to please. Or words to that effect. You need to sort yourself out. What, do you mean I need to sort myself out emotionally? Or financially? Or psychologically? Or are you talking about in the bedroom department sorting yourself out? In which case, no, that is very much a job that I not defer. What's the word? What's the word when you get somebody else to do it? Begins with a D. Oh, help me out, somebody. If you've got staff, for example, you instruct. What is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Liz, help me. He lives in the middle of nowhere. So, what's the word? Delegate. Delegate. That's it. It's not difficult, is it? He lives in the middle of nowhere, which is also the middle of the Derbyshire dogging scene. Do you really think he's not getting any? Delegate. Thank you. Thank you. I did get it. I haven't I haven't resorted to dogging yet. Although it's a fascinating idea, dogging, isn't it? I've become fascinated by some perversions as I've got older. And yeah, not in actually trying them, but in kind of figuring out why other people do. It's an extraordinary thing. It's trying to get into the minds of other people, isn't it? It's just, that's an age thing, wondering about humanity as a whole. And yeah, I'm fascinated by the idea of perversions. And you look at them and you sort of think, well, what are you getting from that? But hey ho. Where did I get to? You can still play. Does that mean you play with yourself a lot? No, never been. I've never been a fan of that. Weirdly enough, I've never been a fan of the old five-fingered widow, and I've never been a fan of porn. Just never. I'd rather, crack on. I meant in terms of bad habits and health-wise. Yeah, I certainly should sort myself out in those terms. But the problem with that, I don't want to go to a doctor, because if I've got something wrong with me that I'm supposed to die of, well, if I don't know I'm supposed to die of it, then I'll be fine. I'll just carry on. If I go to a doctor, he might tell me that there's something wrong with me. And then I'll know that I'm supposed to die of it, and then I'll die. And there have actually been, the psychosomatic element is a very real and powerful thing. And I firmly believe in it. I'm firmly convinced that if you know you've got something, then you'll be a lot more affected by it than if you don't officially know. So, live in ignorance. I mean, bloody hell. I'm 50... How old am I? I'm 52 years old. I never thought I'd make it to 30. Making it to 40 was incredible. Making it to 52, and I'm still living an independent life. I'm still reasonably functional and capable of doing some things. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. And I remember reading a quote from somebody, I can't remember who it was, when I was very young, and it said that there is no pleasure on earth worth giving up to have an extra 10 years in a nursing home. And there is some truth in that. I'm not overly enamoured with the thought of getting old. Do you know what I mean? Getting to the sort of age where things really start to bugger up and you start being dependent, and you just can't do this, that and the other, and you're massively afflicted by your own. I'm not mad about that. I mean, in a way, please God, I hope I do get there, and I'll make the very best of it, but and I'm not willing God here, but if I were hit by a thunderbolt or a massive coronary or something of that nature at the age that I am now with the life that I've had, then if I had time to think about it, I'd kind of think, fair enough. Can't complain. So, I mean, at some point soon, no doubt it'll get to the point where I do have to. I mean, I've never gone to the doctor or anything like that. Never have. Never relied on. And at some point soon, I'm going to have to start doing certain things. I know that. I mean, one thing I'm going to have to do is to find unless I become very rich very suddenly, I can take myself off to Turkey or America to get my teeth done. Then if I continue dropping teeth at the rate that I am now, I'm going to have to find a dentist to get fitted with bloody dentures, for Christ's sake. And I haven't been to a dentist since I can't remember how old, because I've never really needed to. Apart from the fact that they were a bit haphazard and wayward, which has got worse since the old gums receded, my teeth are all healthy. I've never had tooth decay. I've looked after them. I've never needed a filling or anything like that. It's just for whatever reason, probably a combination of age, receding gums, being a mouth breather, which dries your mouth, because my sinuses have been fucked up since the age of, God, I think I was about 14 when I first developed nasal polyps. And of course, smoking doesn't help. And for all of those reasons, my teeth are starting to fall out. But so I will need to, but can you even find a dentist if you're poor? I keep reading that no dentists are taking on NHS patients. But hey ho, we'll worry about that when we come to it. Don't need to worry about it tomorrow, so I won't. You fantasize about dogging. I don't fantasize about dogging. I said I'm fascinated by certain perversions, and I kind of have a quick skim into them and think, interesting, why would you want to do that? There's very often fear of checking your health, I understand you. Yeah. My mate is into birding. Sounds dodgy, but it's a modern term for twitching. I knew that. You'll die when you're ready, Boaty. Yeah, I'm sure I will. Depends how much nookie you get in the nursing home. There was a very interesting legal case. As I think most of you know, I did study law. Law was one of the degrees that I did study. And I recall a very interesting case. Actually, I'll throw it out to you, see what you think. There was a guy living in a nursing stroke residential home. All right? Now, he paid to be there. And if you didn't know, nursing homes and residential homes are horrendously expensive. £700-800 a week is about the going rate. Now, this chap was fully compos mentis, had all of his marbles, and he wanted to order an escort, a call girl, to come to his home, which happened to be this residential home, in order to administer a pottering. And he wasn't allowed to. So he sued the nursing home or residential home, whatever it was. Now, where do you stand on that? Should he have been allowed, given that he's paying whatever he was paying at that time, and given that it's his home, should he have been allowed to order to engage a call girl? Very interesting case. There are a lot of legal cases that I was very interested with. And if, oh God, we're going back to Radio 4 again. But if you ever listen to a program called It's a Fair Cop with, I can't remember his name, but he's a policeman turned comedian. Alfie Moore, I want to say. Alfie Moore, I think. And he talks about real life police cases that he dealt with as a policeman. And there was a similar one. It was a guy, he wasn't in a nursing home, he was living alone. He was very old. And he got a girlfriend who was like way, way younger than him. And she was either she was fleecing him or he was being overly generous with her, right? And the family were concerned that he was giving away their inheritance to this friend, whether it's a friend or a girlfriend or whatever, and they contacted the police. Now, where would you stand on that? Do you think that the police should take action if a man who is deemed mentally competent chooses at an advanced age to give away money or goods to a younger companion? Interesting things. Hidden message. Well, Boaty, honestly, without any sort of joking right now, you could at least fix your teeth. Could I? You don't need to be that crooked British teeth stereotype. How do I fix them? How do I fix them? Tell me how. I'll go to a dentist, I suppose, would be the thing. I would love to fix my teeth. The reason that my teeth were crooked in the first place, the Kenjoji, was that I have malignant hyperparexia. So I was unable to have an anaesthetic, so they were unable to remove 2 teeth and put a brace on to straighten my teeth up when I was a child. And that's the reason why I have other conditions. It's because I've got MH. So that things might be different now, but at the time, for those who don't know my history, there's a thing called MH. My brother died of it. He was the first officially recorded case. It's a genetic thing. I was tested. I was taken to Switzerland. I had a procedure that put me in a wheelchair for a year, and I am highly MH positive. So throughout most of my life, I was unable to have any medical procedure that involved any form of anaesthetic, local or general, unless it was literally a life or death situation, because there was a strong chance that there would be either a fatality or brain damage. Now, I do understand that things are different now and anesthesiology has moved on. And I was talking to, was it you, Liz, I was talking to about this quite recently? But that's the way it was. So that's why my teeth never got sorted. That's why my polyps never got sorted. That's why the injury that finished my career as a professional sportsman never got sorted, because I couldn't have the medical procedure to sort it out. As for sorting my teeth now, my plan is to become obscenely rich and have them all ripped out and have full on what they're calling now turkey teeth. Perfect, beautiful teeth. Yeah, I'd love that. Where did I get to? Hang on a minute. I mean, Lemmy wanted to be wasted his entire life, no matter how long he'd live. He lived too long for his lifestyle, but he stands behind his choice, and that was okay for him. Yeah, I kind of understand that. I decided I didn't want to drink myself to death. And I discovered that I didn't like being overly drunk. So having gone through that rock and roll phase, I never did the drugs, but I certainly did the excess alcohol. And I kind of got bored with becoming that drunk. And so I stopped and just became less drunk. And it was like a revelation. I slept better. A lot of paranoia that I had just disappeared. Everything was just better. So, yeah, it was, that was a great, I mean, God, no. And also, I wanted to sort the booze out before I became a full-blown alcoholic, because I didn't want to give up booze. And obviously, if you become an alcoholic, then the only thing that you can do is to go completely dry. And I really didn't want to do that. So I just stopped the hard boozing, and I stopped the drinking the hard stuff. Vodka, which was my best friend for too many years. And I just have a bottle of wine, and that's fine. All joking about, I know I joke about sending marriage proposals, but, you know, I never get drunk anymore, and it's great. I get nicely relaxed, and I go to bed knowing exactly what I'm doing. I don't fall over going up the stairs, and I sleep really well, and I get up with a clear head in the morning, so that's all good. Had two relatives given terminal cancer diagnoses this year and died in weeks. A customer was given 2 months last March and won't give up, still spannering on his collection of Golf GTIs, plural. Yeah, you don't know whether it's kinder or harsher when it happens really quickly, do you? I mean, it's a horrible thing to think about either way, of course. You know, the idea of getting that, I mean, we all know that we're going to die. Of course we do. Life is a terminal condition. But to have that limitation placed upon it, that's terrifying. I think we'd all be bloody terrified of that, wouldn't we? And I don't know if it's kinder if it's shorter, or if it's kinder if it's longer and more drawn out. I mean, my grandfather got it right. My grandfather, what a great man he was. And he really was a great man. My absolute hero. I've spoken about him quite a lot. Incredibly well-respected man in the community. A man of chapel. A fine husband, a highly, highly decorated war hero. He was an RSM in Paris. The bravest, hardest man that I've ever met or ever will meet. And he was 93. He necked best part half a bottle of scotch, watched a bit of telly, went to his own bed in his own house that he built with his own 2 hands, and didn't wake up. That's the way to do it, isn't it? Got to get that colonoscopy soon, Boatman. Fuck that. Sod that. There's nothing going up there. Not even a finger, mate. Not happening. I'll take the prostate cancer. I don't allow a man to wave their finger in my face, let alone up there. Sod that. Just find a Oh, there are emergency NHS dentists, are there? I haven't got a clue. Just find a dentist that accepts checks. Then it's their problem when it bounces because you've already had the work done. Who accepts checks these days? Oh, a message health review. Residential home is his home address, says Trace, and he should be allowed to have sex with willing participants, including escorts. Oh, interesting. My father wanted sex, and I was willing to arrange a call girl, but then the pandemic hit. Well, it's over with now. Is your father still with us? And is he still desirous of such things? You said MH. I did say MH. Malignant hyperpyrexia. People's home is more like a jail for old people, so you're restricted from excitement of boobies and pottering. If you had to give up one, which would it be, smoking or drinking? I gave up drinking when I had to make that choice 11 years ago. I'd go the other way. I would give up the smoking. It's a cost issue, isn't it? And yeah. I'm on the verge of thinking about giving up smoking because I love my cars and I genuinely do work on a limited budget, as I'm sure that you know. And I just keep thinking about what I could do for the cars while I wasn't spending that money on fags. I gave up drinking in 2011, surprisingly never missed it, but I still smoke. Oh, Trace, I'm sorry. COVID got him 2 years ago, but I would have arranged it if it'd still been rampant. Fair play. They say you died twice, says Matt. Once when you take your last breath, and again the final time your name is said. So if I'm known by underscore, I could live forever. Well, we could all live forever thanks to YouTube and the internet, couldn't we? I'm going to wrap it up at that, my loves, before we start talking about death too much. I meant to stop ages beforehand. I've got a load of things that I want to do before... Oh, hidden comment. Yeah, I've got a load of stuff I wanted to do before going to bed, and I'm probably not going to do it, but never mind. Who cares? You have to go with the moment, and it's been fun. It's been fun. So, I will find the thing to play you out with. I will say thank you as always for your company. I mean that, actually. Oh, and I've been meaning to say this properly. I did put it in tonight's video. I finally got around to putting a proper thank you in the video for my 8 channel members. Oh, I can't tell you how much that means to me, and I just want to say how really grateful I am for that support. Yeah, I get choked up here. Yeah, I really am, and also to all of you who've done anything else, whether it's sending the super chats or the super thanks or the super stickers, or who've got involved in something else, or who sent me a card or or just, I mean, I should put it more in the videos, because if I try and talk about it, I get a bit emotional and choked up and stuff. So what I should do is what Mustard does, and put it in the video so that it's and I did tonight. I did put a proper thank you to the channel members in, and I'll do a proper thank you for all of the super subscribers who send me super things or just support me in any way, shape or form. And oh God, I can't wait until we start doing the social stuff. And I know I keep saying this, but I feel it shouldn't be a one-way street. And I promise you that throughout this year, when we can do the socials and stuff, I'll arrange interesting stuff. I'll open my home and my momos to you, and I will repay your kindnesses, your many kindnesses from so many of you, in any way that I can. I'm not a channel member, I'm just a dick. Get it? Member. Yeah, very good. Oh dear. Where do I sit at the socials? Will you bring me a naughty step? You've already got a naughty step, Matt. Right up at the top of the garden, mate, there's that wooden stool thing. That's your naughty step. But I don't think you'll be alone up there. I'm going to go, my loves. I need supper and sleep and to do some shit. And I'm sure you've all had enough. I'll see you next time. When is next time? What day is it? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, right, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday at the moment, Thursday tomorrow. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to do 2 things at once, and I'm very clearly not capable of it. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow night is what I'm trying to say. Oh, for Christ's sake. Where are you? There you are. There you go. Bloody hell, what a fiasco tonight has been. bless you all. Thank you so much. Have a safe and peaceful night. And take care of yourselves. Have a great day tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow night. Night, darlings.